Your heroes will let you down, man. They're going to let you down. That person you idolize, they're human, they'll fall short. But you can switch up, you can change. You're the one who can step up, face the mirror, and take charge. Be your own hero. Whoever you're looking up to, they're going to fail you at some point. Trust me, they will. You can't be them. You're not them. Stop looking outside yourself. Stop chasing some fantasy of who you want to be based on someone else's life. Start looking inward. Get to know who the hell you are. Build your own damn superhero. Make your own Rocky, make your own Rambo. Forge an unstoppable version of yourself that doesn't give a damn about the limitations everyone else believes in. A lot of you out there, you're not proud of who you see in the mirror. You don't like the person staring back at you. So do what I did, tear that shit down, start over from scratch and create someone you respect. Be your own role model. When I'm at my lowest, when I'm screwed up, I don't look to anyone else. I look myself dead in the eyes and say, you're fucked up. Now let's fix this shit right now. You're writing a book with your life. Each day is a damn chapter. So what's your book look like? What's your fucking story? Imagine being on your deathbed, 90 years old. No legacy, but your life is some kid who never knew you walks in. What would it mean if you picked up your book? Would it change his life? If the answer is no, if you can't say hell yes, then it's time to rewrite your story. Start over and make it count. Quit giving a damn about what people think. If I cared about anyone else's opinions, you think I'd be out here running with a 105-pound ruck, screaming my lungs out? Hell no, man. This is me. Find out who you really are and own that motherfucker. Tell anyone who doubts you to go fuck themselves. You don't need their permission. Sure, if they want to support you, great, but you don't need it. Stand tall in your own skin and say, this is my life. I'm running the damn show. Live like you're the main character in a movie, and today is the start of that story. Maybe your life's a mess right now. A complete disaster like one of those scenes in a Schwarzenegger flick. Pizza, ice cream, regrets piling up. But just like every hero, you hit rock bottom, and that's where you make the choice. You might be one step from breaking, but you can put the gun down. You can look up. You can decide that's not how your story ends. Live your damn life like there's a camera crew on you. Every single second recording, every step, every choice, every time you show up or don't. And you know what? That footage, one day your kids are going to see that shit. They're going to look back and say, damn, my dad was a savage. He did what the fuck he had to do. Or my mom, she pulled her shit together and went to war with life. I don't just love a success story. I crave the stories of people who hit rock bottom, who destroyed their lives, then got back up stronger, meaner, and ready to tear it up. So when you get that spark of, hey, I need to go do this, don't wait. You'll go fucking do it. Right then. Because every single time you don't, every time you flake out, you're feeding that self-talk that makes you feel weak and worthless. That's what screws your confidence. That's why people think confidence is just for certain people. They don't see that it's something you create, something you build by showing up for yourself. It all comes down to this zero compromise, none. If you say you're doing it, you go all the way, no bullshit excuses. And when you do that, you start to trust yourself. You walk into a room and look around like none of these other motherfuckers are putting in the work I do. And suddenly you realize, shit, I'm stronger than I thought. It starts to snowball, and that's where real power comes from. Most people, they're just sitting there whining about why life dealt them a crap hand, why they deserve better like victims in their own damn movie. They're too busy looking at other people's wins to get their own making excuses instead of moves letting jealousy take over instead of leveling up. That's why they stay stuck in the same miserable rut. You know what I can't stand? That constant complaining. That bullshit, I'll start Monday crap. I'll start after the wedding, after this vacation, after the holidays. Yeah, and that's why you feel like trash, because you keep lying to yourself and deep down, you know it. Here's the hard truth. If someone calls you fat, maybe it's because you're actually fat. If someone says you're dumb, maybe they're right. It's a tough world and you can't sugarcoat it. Look at it in the eye, take it for what it is, and get to work fixing it. Here's the truth I figured out. Everybody's fucked up. Every single person. I used to walk around putting people on pedestals thinking everyone else had their shit together, and I was the only one struggling. So I stayed quiet, hid my flaws, felt even lower. But once I stopped calming my mind and really looked around at how jacked up this world is, I realized I'm not alone. Those people judging you, acting like they've got it all figured out. The only difference is they've gotten damn good at hiding their mess. That's it. You look at your family or friends, most of them mediocre, man. Maybe one or two try to rise above, be something more. And you know what happens? The mediocre motherfuckers, maybe it's your mom, dad, whoever, they feel like shit being around someone who wants more. It's like a mirror reflecting back all their own bullshit. I've been there. I know. When you're not ready to get after someone else's grind, makes you feel like crap. What changed me, I looked at the ugly truth I used to hate on people who were out there crushing it. Not because they did anything wrong, but because I was lazy. I was pissed off at myself and they made me feel it every day. You have to know where your anger comes from if you're going to kill it. When you say I'm all in, do you even know what that means? Because being all in isn't some half-ass commitment. It's early mornings, late nights getting judged, misunderstood, having almost no friends, and being your own damn cheerleader. Everybody says, oh, I'm a hard worker. Sure, maybe, but so is the next guy. The real question is, what the hell are you working hard on? People want shortcuts. Oh, work smarter, not harder bullshit. You better be working smarter and harder. You want to be the best, then get ready to be obsessed, to be misunderstood, to have everyone around you questioning your sanity. It's going to take every single second of your life, and if you're not ready for that, then stay out of the way. People talk about balance like it's the secret to everything. Maybe it's good for some people, but if you're aiming for that top edge, the place where people don't get you think you're nuts, then balance isn't going to get you there. If they're looking at you like, why the hell is this guy in the gym at 1 a.m.? After grinding for 13 hours straight, then you're on the right path. The best part, they'll never get it. They'll never understand what's wrong with you. And thank God for that, because when people stop understanding, that's when you're right where you need to be, deep in the zone, running on pure obsession and drive. Everywhere I look these days, everyone's chasing comfort like it's the damn holy grail. Everything's about convenience, about faster and easier. Tell me one great thing in your life that came from sitting on your ass and staying comfortable. Exactly. Nothing. Nobody hands you shit in this life. You want a break, you go out there and take it. We're all getting tested, every single one of us. My test might look different than yours, but trust me, it's coming for you. How you face that test, how you grind through it is what's going to shape your whole damn life. It doesn't matter what's in front of you. You still have to show up and grind. I'm not making it to the Olympics. I'll never be a pro athlete. But guess what? I grind. I fail more times than I can count. But I'm still grinding. I don't want to do half the shit I do, but I still go out and do it. So when you see me out there running in the dead of night in some alley at 1 a.m., know one thing: I'm grinding. Self-discipline is everything. This isn't about me anymore. It's on you now. The self and self-discipline is what makes it real. I don't get burned out because I remember who I used to be. I remember being broke, being out of shape, being a damn nobody, and I'm not going back. That's why I don't get burned out. Are there days I don't feel like doing it? Hell yeah, almost every day. But here's the thing: not doing it means I'm right back in that pit I clawed my way out of. It's a grown-up choice. You just get out there and do what you need to do. You're expecting good weather, tough luck. It's 20 damn degrees. Maybe it's blistering hot, or maybe you're sore as hell and everything hurts. Life doesn't get easier. You've got to get harder. Every single great thing in my life, every win, every breakthrough came from doing what I didn't want to do. And all those people you look up to, they got to where they are by being uncomfortable as hell. That's just how it works. The road to greatness is a damn mess. There are detours, roadblocks, and setbacks every step of the way. So when you start out on your goal, know one thing: that path isn't smooth. Success is found in every painful step, every lap you push through, every barbell you lift, every stroke in the pool. Suffering, that's where inspiration lives. Every time you try to avoid the pain, every time you dodge the struggle, you're making a choice to be average. You're choosing to be mediocre. The pain, the hardship, the grind, that's the stuff that forges champions. Don't run from it, embrace it. Some of you have been average for so damn long you forgot what real work feels like, but there are others of you who want more, who want to be something fucking great. You just don't know how to break out of the average mindset. It's every day. Every damn day you've got to grind. It's a mindset you live and breathe. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but let me tell you something: there's a motherfucker out there who wants what you have. They want your job, your life, your relationship, your success. They're out there hungry, watching and waiting to take what you've got. That should scare you. It should piss you off. Make it your motivation to outlast, outwork, and stay hard every damn day. There's no easy route that pays off, man, none. The only route that's worth a damn is the hard one. The one full of struggle, pain, frustration, and pushing past all of that. And not only does that route pay, it also fulfills you. It shows your family, your friends, and everyone around you exactly what's possible. It proves you can go beyond what anyone else thought you could do. Life is your ultimate competition. It's relentless. It'll knock you down when you least expect it. So what do? You adapt. You overcome. You hit every damn obstacle. and find a way around it. You don't stop. You don't back down. You don't let shit get in your way. When I'm at the gym and they say it's 5 sets of 10, guess what? I do 11. If I'm supposed to run 45 minutes on the treadmill, I go 46. If I'm supposed to make 25 calls at the office, I make 26. Meetings, I do one more. My mantra for decades has been one more. That's what sets you apart. That's the difference. People get it twisted about motivation. They think it's this fire that makes you excited to do the work, makes you pumped up. That's not what it's about. Motivation is your reason why. It's the thing that drives you when the excitement is gone, when it's dark, when no one's watching, when you're tired as hell, and all you want to do is stop. I'm determined to be successful, to be the absolute best version of myself. And I'm damn sure going to be someone who, when I die, people remember. They're going to say that motherfucker showed us what's possible. My old man used to tell me a story over and over, drilling it into my damn head. He'd say every morning out on the Serengeti, a gazelle wakes up knowing it has to outrun the fastest lion or it's dead. That same morning, a lion gets up knowing it has to be faster than the slowest gazelle or starves and dies. And then he'd look at me and say, son, it doesn't matter who you are. You better be running. What he taught me was the brutal truth. If you want something in this life, you better be ready to hustle harder than anyone else every single day. You want to grow. You want to get somewhere. You're going to have to put yourself under some serious stress. And stress is necessary. Stop looking for someone else to come and fire you up to scream in your face. That's bullshit. You've got to look inside, face that mirror, and remind yourself why the hell you're doing this. Why you're out there suffering, pushing, grinding. This fight, this struggle, this temporary pain, it's exactly what's building you into something stronger, faster, smarter, and harder than you were yesterday. So take that and throw yourself into it. Into the pain, into the storm, into the grind where victory is forged. Some people tell me, take it easy, Goggins. 45 minutes of running is enough. That's a word that doesn't exist in my fucking vocabulary. When I figured out that you can be uncommon in a world full of average, adequate, went out the damn window. I'm going as far as my body and mind can possibly take me and then some. People ask what you're going to do when you can't do it anymore. Let me tell you something. I'm the most grateful motherfucker you'll ever meet. I've got a list of autoimmune diseases that would knock most people on their ass. I've had times where I couldn't do anything close to what I do now. So every day that I wake up and can get out there, I'm grateful. I'm grateful when I can take a shit without hurting, when my skin isn't itching like hell, when my head isn't pounding, and when my knees and back aren't screaming in pain. I don't just appreciate life, man, I attack it. Look, man, it's not about running. When the day comes that I can't run anymore, I'm still going to be the most grateful motherfucker you've ever seen. Because I know I gave every damn thing I had. I drained the tank, and when the tank was dry, I kept searching for more. That's the difference. You know why you don't give 120% every time you step out there? Because you don't have a why. You don't even know what the hell you're fighting for. I walk into a room and see it in people's eyes. Some of why all just aren't serious. You're playing around, coasting, hoping for shit to happen instead of making it happen. Listen, man, life is full of times when you won't want to do the fucking thing in front of you. But quitting is not an option. You've got to remember this isn't some side gig, some hobby, some joke. It's a lifestyle. How you talk to yourself matters, because when the grind gets heavy, there's no coach, no trainer, no cheerleader. There's just you. The key, be uncommon among uncommon people. You're never done, never satisfied. Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're finished. Let me be real with you, man. I'm shaking even being on this show right now. I'm a hardcore introvert. But here's the thing. You don't get over that shit by avoiding it. You face it day in, day out. You keep showing up. That's how you handle your shit. If you're fat, you face that. You own it and say, all right, I'm fat and I don't like it. It's not about hating yourself. It's about accepting the truth of where you're at right now. You lose even a few pounds, that's a win. You got to build your own damn world and live in it. You can't be out here judging yourself based on everyone else on social media or whatever bullshit comparison you've got in your head. That's why all this social media shit is toxic. It makes you think you're in a race with everyone, but the reality is this is a race you run completely alone. There's no one else. I used to cover my mirror with sticky notes. But you wouldn't find stuff like be better than so-and-so or look like this guy. Nah, man. They were all personal goals. David, yesterday you did this. Today you're aiming for this. I had goals for the year, for the week, for the day, held down to the hour. Every single one was a step forward for me. Growing up, I lied a lot. Wanted to fit in, wanted people to like me. One of my goals was go one day without lying. And once you start, you begin to realize how much looking around at other people corrupts your own mind. You're thinking, well, she's skinnier than me and she doesn't even work that hard, or he's got it easier. That shit starts to poison your dialogue. And that's the mistake right there, judging yourself by everyone else. This whole damn thing is about you against you. My race was never against anyone else, not Rich Roll, not Joe Rogan, nobody, man. It's David Goggins versus David Goggins, plain and simple. Once you shut out all that outside noise, you start to realize I'm stressed for nothing. This is my timeline, my race. This is how I'm going to run it. I do a lot of public speaking now, but here's the truth. Do you enjoy it? Nah, man, I don't. I don't like doing interviews either. Then why do you do it? Because I know that just like every other hard thing is where the growth is. One big reason why I hate public speaking, why I can't stand being on camera, is because I grew up stuttering my ass off. Right now, talking to you, I spend an hour in the car getting pumped up for this. Because deep down, I'm still that shy, introverted, leave me the hell alone kind of guy. Inside, I'm still that 6-year-old kid on stage knowing he's going to stutter in front of everyone. So what did I do? I walked off. That's still me, man. So every day I'm going to war with that dude. People see me and think, oh my God, this guy's hardcore, like he's crazy or something. Nah, man. I'm just trying to stay locked in to stay in the fight. I'm here with Joe right now, but there's a part of me that wants to open the door and just run because there's a camera on me. The real me, I'm not sadistic. I'm just locked in. I'm doing what I have to do to stay in this game called life. You'd think that after all the insane things I've done, public speaking would be nothing. But those other things, I do those alone. I go out, I grind. I'm all by myself in my head facing my demons. I work best alone. People think it's crazy, but that's easy for me. I figured out how to challenge my mind, push it, and build an indestructible toolbox in my head. That's why those solo grinds are easier. But this whole public thing, yeah, it sucks. Let me tell you why, though. I know I've got this gift. It's not about being smooth or having some gift of gab. It's just this raw, vulnerable honesty. I'm not some superhuman. I'm not Batman or Superman. Hell, I'm not even Robin. But I figured some things out along the way. And if I stayed closed off, I didn't speak out, people would never know. I realized that people see this big, tough guy and think he's some superhuman. Nah, I'm out here letting people know anyone can do this. You don't have to be born gifted. You just stay the fuck course. You man up every damn day because you know what it's like to be the opposite. If I had one book to give someone on my deathbed, I'd want it to change their life. Because I'm not Lance Armstrong with some crazy VO2 max. I didn't come from great parents. I didn't have a special brain or some elite body. I was nothing, but I turned nothing into something. Look, man, you don't have to be special. Don't need a fancy background. Don't need any of that. You just have to find your damn fight and give everything you've got. People want to talk about the pull-up record, about these gnarly, brutal calluses on my hands from all those damn pull-ups. Yeah, I did 670,000 pull-ups to get ready for that record. And it took 3 attempts, 3 damn times. The first shot I choked. I failed miserably right there on the Today Show in front of millions. And you know what? I didn't give a shit. I failed so many times before that. When you set a target high as hell, failure is just a checkpoint. It's a test to see if you've got the balls to keep going. So I tore up my hands, calloused them to go to war with that pull-up bar. But that was nothing compared to the calluses I built on my brain. I did that by forcing myself to do things I hated. That's how you get mentally tough. Everyone wants to shortcut the magic answer. Guess what? There isn't one. It's simple. Do the stuff you hate doing. That's the key. You hate running good. I hate it too. I'd rather stuff my face with pizza and zone out in front of the game. But instead I ran for hours. I punished myself. How did I get mentally hard by grinding like that every damn day? I made a habit of stepping into the suck, leaning into the things that made me feel weak and uncomfortable. That's the only place you grow. The discomfort zone. That's the training ground. You've got to look in the mirror and be brutally honest with yourself. I had to face the truth. I'm afraid. I've got issues. I stutter. I used to be overweight. I've got insecurities. You've got to go into that dark room, face down all the demons and build someone else in there. You've got to forge a new person out of that pain, someone who can stare fear in the face. You got to crack out that alter ego. That's where Goggins comes out, the side that doesn't give a fuck what people think, who embraces being weak, who knows he's scared and says, go ahead, judge me. I'm still here. That's Goggins. That's the guy who walks out of that darkness fearless, ready to take on whatever life throws at him. You don't got to be anything to be truly badass. Look, I came up with every disadvantage you can imagine: an abusive father who beat the hell out of me, a learning disability, a nasty stutter that made me choke on my own damn words. I had toxic stress, white blotches all over my skin, hair falling out, and to top it off, I was the only black kid in my class in a small town. I was a kid who felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I wasn't the smartest kid, I was the dumbest kid, and I hated myself for it. I was already broken down from my dad's abuse. Then we moved to this town in Brazil, Indiana. My mom was working 3 jobs to keep us going, paying $7 a month for this government subsidized apartment. She was grinding just to keep us fed, and I was out there barely hanging on. I cheated my way through high school, copied my way through tests just to stay afloat. But then I started to get this feeling in my gut, like I got to get out to here. I need out of this life. I want to join the military. I was done with being the only black kid being called the N-word, being treated like I didn't belong. Then came one of the worst days of my life. I came out of school and there's my car, a brand new 1982 Citation, and it's covered in spray paint. That word was there, that N-word, and under it, we're going to kill you. I still wanted to join the military, so I went to a recruiter and he told me I needed to pass the ASVAB test. And in my head, I was like, how the hell am I going to pull this off? A week after I failed that test, a letter came in the mail saying I was on my way to flunking out of school. My mom just looked at me tired as hell and said, well, maybe you'll flunk out. She was that broken down. That's when I said, screw this. I created what I call the accountability mirror. I blamed everyone else for my failures, but that mirror, that was when I faced up to my part in it. No one was coming to save me. My dad wasn't coming back to apologize. The people who called me names, they were done. It was me who had to take ownership of my life. I put sticky notes all over that mirror. Every flaw, every weakness, everything that was holding me back, wrote it down and slapped it right on that mirror. I'm not smart, I'm weak, I'm this, I'm that. Every day I stood in front of that mirror and I faced my own truth. It was brutal, especially for a 17-year-old, but I kept going back. I went through each note, figuring out how to solve each problem one by one. And guess what? I finally passed the ASVAB. I got into the Air Force. I want to be a pararescue medic. Those guys are the toughest on the planet. But then I ran into this thing called water confidence training, where they basically make you feel like you're drowning every day. Turns out I hated water, feared it with everything I had. 6 weeks in, I hadn't slept from all that fear. I was terrified of getting back in the pool. Then I found out I had sickle cell trait. But here's the truth: I didn't leave because of sickle cell. That's just the official story. The truth: I left because I quit. I was terrified and I quit. You see, everyone's looking for some magical thing they got to be amazing. But here's the truth: you don't need anything except the guts to look in the mirror and face who you are. I had to find a new gig in the Air Force. And in the 4 years I was there, I let myself go, packed on a brutal 125 pounds. I got out in my new life. I was spraying for damn cockroaches. 40 restaurants I was in charge of. My nights, I'd go into these places, spray down every corner, and then I'd hit up Steak and Shake for a large chocolate milkshake, cross the street to 7-Eleven, grab a box of mini donuts, and pop them like damn Tic Tacs on my way home. That was my routine. I'd get back, turn on the TV, slump on the couch, and zone out. I'd hop in the shower, and as the water hit my face, I'd listen to the TV blaring in the other room. This one day, something got through the noise. I heard it: Navy SEALs. I heard toughest training cut through as water was crashing down over my ears. So I get out and I sit there still soaking wet, staring at the screen. It's showing these buds candidates going through Hell Week. Freezing wet, getting the shit beat out of them by the cold and the waves. Guys quitting left and right. I'm sitting there 297 pounds watching these machines. And then this commanding officer comes on and says, we live in a society where mediocrity is often rewarded. These 22 men detest mediocrity. And I felt it deep down. I'm looking at myself thinking, you're a nothing. A big fucking waste. Every day I've been haunted by that voice telling me you're nothing. So that day I started dialing recruiters. Called them up one by one. For 2 weeks I called. Every time they laughed their asses off. There's no way they'd say. I hang up, drive back to work, tail between my legs, thinking maybe it's not meant to be. But after a few hours, that fire would start up again. Finally, I said, this is it. This is my last call. This guy picks up. He's busy as hell, but he says, just come on in. Now listen, people don't walk into that recruiter's office looking to be a Navy SEAL at 297 pounds. You go in looking like I do now. But I walk my big ass in there And he takes me to a scale. I'm standing there staring at that height weight chart. For my height, 6'1", I could weigh at most 191 pounds. That meant I had to drop 106 pounds in less than 3 months. So I said, fuck it, and went all in. Put myself on this insane routine, eating next to nothing. And I did it. In under 3 months, I lost 106 pounds. I'm the only motherfucker in Navy SEAL history to go through 3 hell weeks in a year. 3. That's 130 hours of nonstop soul-crushing training each time. I got through hell week, got double pneumonia and stress fractures, and had to roll all the way back to day 1, week 1. Broke my damn kneecap and had to show up again at day 1. I was broken, but I kept going. In my 3rd hell week, we had a guy die. They shut it down about 30 hours early. My body was torn to shreds, severe stress fractures, my knee blown up again. But I knew I wouldn't get another chance. I made a decision right then there would be no more quitting. Not for me. So I got my hands on some duct tape, wrapped that shit around my legs. For the first 45 minutes, it was like getting torn up by a cheese grater, hurt like hell. But after that, my legs went numb as hell. And once that numbness kicked in, I didn't feel a damn thing. That's how I gutted out the last 22 weeks of Navy SEAL training. See, I'd already hit rock bottom my entire life. I knew what it felt like to be at the lowest point. I'd already slept in the sewer, lived at the edge of nothing. So once I got it through my head, then I'd been at the bottom, I realized I had no more fear of failing. I mean, it wasn't some overnight eureka bullshit moment. It was years of getting my ass handed to me by life before I really got it. I started figuring out that the mind, this thing we carry around every damn day, is our most powerful weapon. Once I learned to quiet that noise and see that maybe I wasn't cursed, maybe I was blessed, I realized I've been handed tools I never saw before. All those years of hardship, hell, only thing left for me now was victory. I started picking the hardest shit on purpose because I knew that's how you build a callous mind. Just like I did with that pull-up record, 4,030 pull-ups in one go. But here's the thing people don't get. I didn't just show up and do that. I prepped like a madman. I did 6,700 pull-ups over 9 months. Hands became calloused, my skin tore up so many times, but eventually those calluses protected me. Calloused hands protect you from the pain on that bar, right? So that's when I thought, what if I could start callousing my brain? I got a whole chapter in my book called Armored Mind. That's what it's about, doing the hard shit every day, getting up and choosing the stuff that sucks. Because that's how you start to make your mind bulletproof. One day I said, all right, let's really push it. So I went to Google. I searched for the hardest races on the planet. And at the top of the list, Badwater 135, a 135-mile race through Death Valley in the summer. It's 130 degrees, and you're running through hell itself. And I said, that's it. That's the one I'm going to do. When I first heard about Badwater, I figured it had to be some kind of stage race. Like there's no way in hell you're running 135 miles in one go. It must be spread out over 10 days or something right wrong. 1 day race. So I called the race director, Chris Kaufman. I say, hey man, I'm David Goggins. And he goes, that's great. Like he doesn't give a shit. I say, look, I wanted to do this race to raise money for a foundation. And he hits me with, have you ever run 100 miles? I'm like, oh, in one calendar year or? Well, I had no idea. But to even qualify for Badwater, you got to knock out 100 miles in 24 hours or less. I say, man, that's impossible. You can't do 100 miles in 24 hours. And he goes, look, that's the only way you're getting into my race. This was in November, and it was a Wednesday. I looked up the races and saw there were only 2 left I could use to qualify, and one of them was coming up that Saturday. Called him on a Wednesday, and the race was Saturday. It was the San Diego 1 day. You run around a 1-mile track for 24 hours and see how many miles you can rack up. I get all my gear, which was literally just a blue lawn chair, Malaplex shakes, and Ritz crackers. That was my setup for a damn 100-mile race. So I plant my little seat by the track, and every lap I'm chugging Malaplex, popping Ritz crackers, and just moving. Around mile 50, the bones in my feet feel like they're shattering. By mile 70, I realize I haven't gone to the bathroom once. That's when it hit me. After 3 hell weeks, Ranger School, Air Force training, my whole fucked up childhood, this was hands down the worst pain I'd ever felt in my entire life. I'm laughing about it now, but that moment was a damn revelation. It made me see that if you can shut out all the noise, silence all the doubters, including that voice in your own head, and stay laser focused on what you need to do, there's almost nothing you can't push through. I became obsessed with finding out how much more I had inside coming from this dude who saw himself as a broken, worthless human being to someone now standing shoulder to shoulder with uncommon men. And I didn't stop there. I wanted to become the most uncommon among the uncommon. It was like a live autopsy on myself, cutting deeper, finding more. And I realized you don't need to be anyone special to be truly amazing. You just have to go to war with yourself and get after it. And here's something I learned the hard way, is that the more you push, the more you grind your ass off. And the higher you rise, the fewer people you can call your friends. Because let's face it, most of these people don't give a damn about you. They see your success and suddenly they're acting like they've been by your side the whole time. I call these people cockroaches. They're bottom feeders straight up. They look at you, they see all those years, all those hours you busted your ass to get to where you are, and they think maybe I can just ride his coattails. It's like they come out of nowhere trying to act like your best friend, always saying, oh, I'm here for you, man. But what they're really asking is, where can I fit in? How can I get a piece of what you got? They've got all these big plans, these amazing ideas, but they didn't put 1 ounce of work into it. They didn't suffer, they didn't bleed, they didn't break themselves like you did. But now they think they can just walk in and share your reward. Hell no. You're the one who's the commodity. And here's the other part. The more successful you get, the less time you have for all this bullshit. Staying at the top isn't about just getting there and kicking back. It takes everything, every ounce of focus, every second of your day. If you want to stay on top, you can't stop grinding. There's no, I've made it. I'm done. You're running out of hours in the day as it is. Most of those hours you're grinding, you're handling your business and you're there for your family. There's no damn room for anything else. Now, here's the trap. Most people still got this part of them that wants to be liked, that wants everybody's approval. I had that too. I had an ego and a big one, just like a lot of alpha males out there. But the truth is, if you're grinding and aiming to lead, not everyone's going to like you. That's just reality. To get from point A to point B and to really succeed, you're going to piss some people off. The biggest lesson I've learned when you're grinding hard, if you're constantly listening to everyone else's opinions, trying to make everyone happy you're done, you'll destroy your business and you'll destroy yourself. Now, if you want to be truly uncommon, if you want to be on a whole other level, you don't give yourself a way out. A common person, yeah, they'll grind for a year, maybe 2, but they'll eventually slack off. They'll start slipping. And that's what separates them from the uncommon. The uncommon person, they don't take a day off for 6 years. They're obsessed with staying on point day in and day out. You want to be that person who people look at and say, hell, I'm not messing with him because he's too damn locked in. That's what separates the greats. You don't allow yourself to be that person who misses a day and then says, I'll make it up tomorrow. No, you don't do that. You tell yourself, I don't want to be that weak ass person anymore. And once you commit, you don't back down. You make sure that come hell or high water, you're getting it done. It's got to haunt you if you don't show up. That's the mindset. It's the prep work you do every single day, sacrificing, pushing, grinding, that hardens you. Day by day, you're building up calluses on your mind. Just like my hands got callous from all those pull-ups, your mind gets callous from the daily grind. Those mental calluses protect you. When life throws some insane shit at you, you're ready. You've trained for it. Your mind's like, we've handled harder shit than this. We got this. Look, man, most people fail because they're worried about what others think. They're terrified of being criticized by people who haven't even tried what they're trying to do. When I first tried to break the pull-up record, I did 2,500 and didn't make it. You know how many lazy asses were talking shit sitting on the couch with a bag of chips? People who couldn't even do one pull-up. That's when you need to realize who's in your damn audience. They're not even in your world, so why are you listening? Block them out. That's rule number 1. Here's the thing about failure. You better start looking at it differently. Because failure is where you find every damn answer, every lesson you need to get better. People love to call it failure, but I don't see it like that. I don't look at it like, oh, I messed up, nah, man. I look at it like Edison out here trying to invent the damn light bulb. What's failure when you're on that path? You think trying to break 4,020 pull-ups is failure? Hell no, everything you do along that way is progress. You've got to flip your mindset about this. So here's what I do. I take out that scrap paper, my notebook, whatever, and I start writing down, all right, didn't hit the mark this time. What went wrong? Check, check, check. First time I tried to break the record, I did 2,500 pull-ups. I was way off. But did I stop? Hell no. I hit 3,200 the next time. Still missed it 800 shy. That's still a hell of a long way to go. Now, from 2,500 to 3,200, I learned a lot. But if I want 4,020, I know my body's going to break down left and right. I know I've got to keep pushing through. So I got that whiteboard out again. I started writing, what didn't I do this time? What do I need to adjust? Here's the thing, you can't look at that as failure. Even if you didn't get what you wanted, all you're doing is figuring out the way to be successful at what you're trying to master. You're building a blueprint. It's not failing, it's progress. Mastery takes time, it takes grind. Look at it this way. If someone, maybe your kid, wants to master something, let's say tennis, and they keep coming back, refusing to quit, that's a terrifying person to go up against. People don't want to face someone who gets up every damn time you knock them down. That's the attitude. That's who you want to be. That's how I approached the pull-up record. I failed at everything at least 3-4 times. My whole life, I never passed anything on the first try. Not one damn thing. But that's what gave me my story. That's what built me up. When I choose my next challenge, I look for the hardest, ugliest thing staring me down, the one thing I don't want to do. That's where I go next. It's that thing in the back of your mind, that thing you don't want to face, is telling you what's next. For some people, it's simple. It's as basic as, I don't feel like running today. Well, guess what? That's your cue. That's your next move. For me, it's always about facing that thing I don't want to do, the thing that scares me. Because that's where the real growth is. The real reason I got into lifting, my self-esteem was down in the damn dirt. I hid behind that big-ass body I built, plain and simple. I was this skinny 175-pound kid before I blew up to 300 pounds. And let me tell you, it wasn't because I loved the gym. Hell no. I packed on that weight to hide who I really was. Soft, insecure, scared of everything. That big body, it was my armor. I didn't want people getting anywhere near the real David Goggins. Look, man, I didn't become this huge guy because I loved working out. It wasn't like, man, I want to be some jacked up dude eating 100,000 calories a day, carrying around gallons of water, sniffing salts, and getting after it. Nah, man, it wasn't about that. The truth is, I was fighting a whole lot of shit in my life. That big dude I created, he was my shield so people wouldn't mess with me anymore. They'd think twice cause they'd either get their ass beat or I'd eat them alive. That was my defense. But one day I'm sitting there alone watching TV and I got hit with this cold, hard reality. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. And in that moment, I knew. I was terrified of the water, terrified of 100 different things. But watching those guys go through Navy SEAL training, it woke something up in me. I knew I had to stop hiding. I couldn't keep hiding behind this 300-pound shell I'd built, caused deep down under all that was a weak-ass individual I needed to face. So that's where it all started. I had this list in my head, a nasty list of fears, insecurities, and crap I didn't want to face. We all got one of those lists, right? That list of stuff that scares the hell out of us or makes us feel worthless. Well, mine was a mile long. Growing up, I got called every slur you can think of. My dad beat the hell out of me. I struggled with learning disability stuttering. I was the kid living in a $7 a month dump. Then my stepdad got murdered. All that crap turned into demons, and those demons, they made me afraid of everything. But then I realized I had this voice in my head. We all have it, that voice that calls you out of your bullshit. Call it God, call it whatever the hell you believe in or don't. But it was there telling me, you're just a big scared ass man carrying around all this crap. You got a list of things weighing you down, stuff from your past, stuff you haven't faced. And that voice, it got louder, telling me to stop running. That's when I knew I had to face every damn thing on that list. I wasn't facing my demons, even though I didn't cause most of them. But they were mine now, and I had to own the fuck out of them. Here's the truth: for me to become a tough son of a bitch, I had to stop being this weak, scared ass man. And to do that, I had to face the shit on that list, the list of fears, failures, and regrets. I had to stare down every damn thing that made me uncomfortable, because that's where I was going to find the real me. If I kept living the way I was playing it safe, sticking to what felt comfortable, I'd just stay the same old, lying, insecure, fearful man living his little nice, cozy life. I didn't want that shit anymore. So I created a world for myself that was anything but comfortable. I designed a hellhole, and that's where I found Goggins. Not David Goggins, the scared little bitch who was hiding behind all this weight and insecurity, but Goggins, the savage motherfucker who went after his fears and crushed them. It wasn't easy, man. I started with some big-ass goals, but those big goals were smashing me in the face because they weren't happening fast enough. So I had to break them down, make those big things real small. And each small victory mattered. For example, I had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months. That's fucking impossible for most people. But instead of thinking about the full 106, I focused on just 1 pound at a time. That was my victory. I was happy as hell to lose a single pound, and just running a quarter of a mile felt like a damn marathon to me. When I was a powerlifter, I wouldn't even walk to the fridge because I was so obsessed with saving calories. Losing a single calorie meant losing strength. I was a fucking freak about it. So to make this shift, I had to flip my whole damn mindset. I had to learn to celebrate small victories, running a little bit, losing a tiny bit of weight, because that's how you get somewhere. It wasn't about the big picture anymore. It was about the grind. And once I started stacking those small wins, that's when shit started changing. That's when I became Goggins. I'm not speaking for every big guy out there, but let me tell you something, I was that big guy. And I realized that a lot of us, we've got some deep ass demons hiding under that flesh. You see, I used to hang around other big guys and we start talking, breaking down, revealing our personal shit. And damn, it was almost like we all had the same damn story. Insecurities, man. Walking around like a damn gargantuan with people staring at you, looking at you like you're some freaking in a twisted way that gave you a little more self-esteem. But here's the real talk. The biggest thing you need to do in life is stop being a weak ass bitch and start being proud of who the fuck you are. Your self-esteem can't come from external bullshit. It has to come from inside. Inside, motherfucker. And it starts with grinding your ass off, putting in the work and sticking to the fight when everything inside you says to quit. You see these headphones on your head, you know what I'm talking about. I walk around life with these mental headphones on, blocking out all the noise, all the bullshit. I silence out the judgment, the self-doubt, the naysayers, the haters. You've got to do the same. Those voices can get in your head, and when they do, that's when you start getting in your head. But let me tell you something, the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one with yourself. When you're talking shit about yourself, telling yourself you're dumb or not good enough, you're becoming that motherfucker. That's who you're going to be. And for those of you out there stuck in that victim mindset, listen up. You need to start callousing over that shit. Build mental armor. You've got to become unbreakable. You need to be able to walk into a room full of 1 million people who are against you, calling you names, throwing shit at you. And you just look at them and say, you know what? Go fuck yourself. I know where I'm going. I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. That's the kind of selfishness you need in today's world, because it's tough as hell out here. It'll eat you alive if you let it. When I was in 6th grade, I was so fucked up I could barely speak. I stuttered like a damn fool. I couldn't get a word out without choking on it. I remember I had one line to say in a play, one damn line, I walked off the stage because I couldn't get the words out. Fast forward to now, I'm speaking in front of thousands for hours at a time. And when I stand there, I look out at the crowd and think, damn, I used to be so afraid of 2 people I couldn't even say 6th grade without choking on it. Now, I'm up there for an hour and a half speaking my truth. Man, what I'm telling you is that when you face your fears, when you stop running from them, you get a power you didn't know existed. You get this unshakable confidence because you know deep down you face shit that most people are too afraid to even think about. And that, my friend, is how you start winning. I had the guts to stand the fuck up and tell people exactly how messed up I am, how fucked up I was, the real struggles I've been through. And trust me, there ain't many people who can do that shit. Most of EM are too scared to show that part of themselves to the world. But me, I don't give a fuck. When you finally get to that point, when you can honestly say, I don't give a damn what you think about me, that's when you tap into real power. That's when you get the confidence you need to crush anything. I don't care if I mess up. I don't care if I stutter in front of a crowd. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. The moment you can stand in front of people and say, this is who I am, no matter what, that's when you start winning. That mindset didn't come easy, though. It came from facing my demons head on. It came from breaking down all the walls I built up, confronting all the fears I've been running from. Now, shit, I don't fear much anymore. And if something does scare me, I don't shy away from it. I attack the fuck out of it. Every damn time. That's how you get stronger. That's how you evolve into something unbreakable. A lot of times I'll be in the middle of a 200-mile run, my body's destroyed, my mind's shattered, my spirit's damn near gone, and I start asking myself, what if I can pull this off? What if I can push through this shit when everything in me is screaming to quit? When I walked into that Navy SEAL recruiter's office for the first time, he looked me dead in the eyes and told me only 35 African Americans in 70 years had made it through. I looked back at him and in my head, I thought, what if I'm the 36th? What if I can be the one to pull off the impossible? That what if right there is what fuels me. That question, that drive. What if I can be the person that everyone thinks I can't be? That's when the fire starts burning deep inside. And you know what? I love my haters. They're the ones who push me to become a fucking animal. They want me to fail. They want me to quit. Every time they doubt me, it makes me want to succeed even more just to see them suffer. You think I was born this beast? Hell no. I made this motherfucker. I built this man from the ashes of insecurity, fear, self-doubt, lies. I was the one lying in the fetal position at the bottom, too scared to move. How did I crawl out of that? By being real with myself. By confronting the shit that I didn't want to see and then fixing it. We all want to lie on social media posts about how great we are, but fuck that. You got to get to the root of the problem and fix it. And my enemies, I don't know all of them, but I know they're out there. And by me staying hard, by me staying in the fucking fight, I make their lives that much worse. Just by not giving up, by refusing to quit, I make sure they hate me even more. When it gets tough, when the pain's almost too much to bear, I think about all those motherfuckers, the ones who want to see me fail, and I smile. Because I'm not quitting. I'm not backing down. And that's what makes them seedy. They hate that I'm still standing. They hate that I'm still fucking going. Being the color I am, not too dark, not too light, I didn't fit in anywhere. I got shit for being around white folks, got called a half-breed and a sellout when I was around black folks. My mind was trapped in that valley, stuck in that pit of confusion. All I wanted to do was climb the damn mountain, look down on the mess of my life. But the truth was I had a lot of friends. I couldn't see that though. And I was too caught up in the bullshit. A lot of us are born into that mindset, that default setting where one little thing sets you off. You hear one wrong word and boom, you're ready to fucking go off. I was defensive as hell growing up, ready to fight before I even knew what was coming. Right now in this world, there's a lot of fucked up shit happening. We can't keep living on the defensive. We need to hear everything, good, bad, ugly, take it all in and keep moving forward. You keep attacking something long enough and nothing will stand in your way. Nothing, man. Let's say you're in a 12-round fight with the heavyweight champ. You're getting your ass handed to you round after round after round. But every time you get knocked down, you get back up. Round after round, you keep getting back up. By that 12th round, the guy who's been beating the shit out of you, you'll start to see it in his face. His soul is leaving. He's questioning if he has it in him. If you can spot that look while you're getting beat down, while your body is screaming at you, you've already won. That look will fuck you up. You may be stronger, faster, better than the next guy. But if I can get inside your head, if I can plant doubt in your mind, I guarantee you this, you'll start questioning yourself. You'll start wondering if you can really make it. People are fucking hilarious. They are so threatened, jealous, insecure, and everything else that comes with it. When I was fat, lazy, insecure, and struggling in school and in life, everyone had advice for me. They wanted to help me out, talk down to me. Well, I flipped that script. I lost the weight. I got in shape. I studied and I worked harder than anyone. And you know what? They still had shit to say. They had shit to say when I was fat, and they had shit to say when I was in the best shape of my life. People don't want to see you do better than them. That's the truth. When you're fat, lazy, and stuck, you make them feel better about themselves. But when you rise up from the ashes, when you claw your way out of hell and decide to make something of yourself, you make them feel like shit. They can't stand that. There's enough room for everyone to eat, but some people are too fucking weak to see that. Don't hate someone because they worked harder than you. Let me tell you something about life. People are the ultimate puppet masters. They'll find your weaknesses, exploit them, and walk you through life like a fucking marionette. They want to own your mind, your thoughts, your actions. But if you want to break those chains, if you want to cut those strings and walk on your own 2 feet, it starts with building self-respect, self-esteem, and self-discipline. Stay hard isn't just a catchphrase for going to the gym. It's about taking that extra step when everyone else stops. And trust me, you fucking can. That's how you build real self-respect. Some people think I'm telling them to go off the deep end. Nah, man, I'm not saying go kill yourself, but what I am saying is just never let anything kick the shit out of you. Life is going to throw everything it has at you. Sickness, failure, bullshit. But you get up and fucking fight. You got COVID, so what? Fuck it. Keep moving forward. That's the attitude I want everyone to adopt. Face down the worst shit with the mindset that you're going to win or die trying. You might win, you might lose. But you sure as hell better bring your best fight every damn time. Whenever you go from being average to trying to be exceptional, people are going to hate that. They'll judge you. They'll tear you down. And right now it's easier than ever to be a coward. Why? Because of Instagram and the rest of that social media bullshit. People won't even tell you to your face. They'll hide behind the screen too scared to say it out loud. Don't let that shit hurt you. Use it all, man. Let it fuel you. Whenever you're doubting yourself, when you don't feel like going another step, pull up that motherfucker in your mind who told you that you weren't good enough, fast enough, smart enough. Whatever the fuck it was they said, use that shit for energy. You don't need to kill them with kindness. No, you fucking torture them with your success. When you're running through hell, let them see you sprinting. Let them watch as you defy the odds. I've heard every fucking person I know laugh at me. I've heard him tell me I'm wasting my time, that I'm fucking crazy for trying. And guess what? I've done it. I've fucking done it, and I'm still going. I remember a time when I was out running in 100-degree heat, 70% humidity, and some dude rolls up in his car, looks at me and says, "Why the fuck are you out here?" And I looked back at him and said, "Because you're not." Sometimes your motivation has to be that simple. Do it because no one else will. We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need teachers, but we also need savages. We need people who will push past the pain, break through the wall, and keep fucking going no matter how tough it gets. When I first joined the military, I got the worst fucking advice of all time: blend in. Don't stand out. Don't volunteer for shit. Just do your time and get out. That mentality, that blending in mentality, that's what keeps you stuck in mediocrity. That's what keeps you fat, lazy, and afraid to push yourself. If I'd listened to that advice, I'd still be sitting at 297 pounds making excuses for why I hate running, swimming, or pushing myself in anything. I wouldn't be trying to be a SEAL or go to Ranger school or crush ultra marathons. I would have stayed right there in my own little comfort zone with that fucking blending in mentality. And guess what? That's what's wrong with society today. There's a whole lot of motherfuckers just blending in. They're out there walking around with their heads down, too scared to make any noise. You don't want to be that person. You got to change your mentality. Never, ever fucking blend in. The moment I stopped quitting, the moment I started pushing past the pain, that's when I started to gain real self-respect. That's when I realized the real power was in my hands. And let me tell you, there's a hell of a lot of power in adversity. If you've been a victim of anything in your life, use that shit to fuel your success. Don't waste your time looking for revenge. Look for the reckoning. Because when you succeed, all those people who doubted you, who held you back, you might just end up their boss. And when they come crawling back for your favor, you've got two options. You can say, okay, or you can do what I do. Look them dead in the eye and say, go fuck yourself. Here's the thing, motherfucker. If you spit in the wind, it's going to come right back and hit you in the face. And that's exactly what happens when you try to drag others down. The shit you put out there comes back to bite you. Take an oak tree seed and plant it in a 2-foot pot. That seed isn't going to grow into the massive, powerful oak tree it was meant to be. Why? Because that pot is too small. It's going to get stifled. It's not the seed's fault. It's the environment it's stuck in. And that's exactly how most people live their lives. They let their environment, their circumstances, their comfort zone control who they are. Don't let that happen to you. Never let your environment dictate the size of the person you're supposed to become. One thing in life is for sure, you're always going to have haters. So embrace them, let them fucking talk. If you're walking on water, they're going to say you can't swim. That's just how it goes. And here's the most important thing: shut the fucking noise out. When people don't like what you're doing, when they talk shit behind your back, it's because you're doing something right. Keep your head down, stay in the fight. Stay hard.